Te pu te more te weo te aka te rea. Te wao nui te kune te pe te kore te po. Ki ngā tangata Māori nā rangi raua ko papa. Ko te ni te timatanga o te ao. Ko tēnei te timatanga o te ao.
Our collective is called the Indigenous Clay Artist Collective, and there's 5 of us. I am the camp mother, I suppose, and then the artists are Dorothy Waitford, who is in Matapori, Rhonda Halliday, who's based at Waipapa, and Alex Ashworth, who's based at Otutahi Christchurch, and Todd and I, who are based at Muriwai Beach. So from all over the whenua, which has been a real challenge during COVID. So Dot, Rhonda, Alex and Todd are tangata whenua and all whakapapa here. I whakapapa to the Indian subcontinent, which is a good reason why we're called the Indigenous Clay Artists Collective. All of us are associated with Ngā Kahanga Uku, the Maori Clay Artists Collective. We've been around for about 35 years and we're so fortunate to have been brought under the fold. And we work under the 3 strands, which are to create works that are based in kaupapa Māori, and we also work and share collectively. We come together as often as we can to create work, to do projects, to workshop, and to share our knowledge. And the 3rd strand of the group is that we are very active in doing Indigenous international hui. So we meet with other clay artists from around the world. The first pieces that anyone visiting the gardens will actually come to when they first walk down to our collective is the 3 pieces behind me. Hine ukurangi, hine wai and hine ahi. So hine wai and hine ahi are mare kura. So they are the female elements of fire and water. And with hine ukurangi, which of course is our personal deity in a way, she's the clay goddess or the clay maid. And so what happened is we went up to Waipapa with about 100 or a couple of 100 kilos of clay, and we're there for a few days with Rhonda, and she literally created these. It's amazing. I love glazes, but it amazes me that Todd and Rhonda, out of their imagination, can just take something that's so malleable like clay and turn a lump of clay into something like this. So this is Dorothy Waitford. Dorothy's based up at Matapori, and so she has made this out of, she's been Greg Barron's working in his studio out of his clay, and I've incorporated some of the garden's uku onto it. So I'm just prepping to glaze this tomorrow, actually. So the process for this now in regards to glazing is I'll be wetting it down to get the right amount of moisture in there so that the glaze sticks to the right amount, doesn't peel off, but is just perfect. Alex's work is made up of 5 components altogether. Above her there's some hands that will sit at the top. Underneath this part here is the main part of the belly, which will have the pepe inside. These are the pepe that are going into the belly of Alex's work. So the rest of her work is not going to be glazed, it's going to be just the straight clay. These pieces here, which are going to be suspended inside, so you'd be viewing, Alex is still to choose which one, will inside the belly, and I'm going to put some I'm going to do my crystalline glaze on that one, representing of course Pounamu and the preciousness of it, and then that belly will sit cradled within the hips and the lower part of her body. Alex has this beautiful, I love it, here she's put in bronze filings. She was a tool maker at the same time as being involved in uku. So that brings that part of her practice through. And with that, we've just melted that at different temperatures. So I'm actually going to be second firing this work to vitrify it for outdoor work, and the filings will melt even more. One of the beautiful things about working with the gardens, we've been involved with them since 2007. And as soon as we started on this project, Renton said we would be able to access the gardens and to get some clay from a clay pit. So we went down to the lower part of the gardens, which is an old area where it would have been an old settling pond. So the clay in this area naturally separates. And so they pulled out the digger and we went down there and dug several hundred kilos of clay, maybe even close to a tonne of clay to use in our sculptures. It's pivotal, the clay from the gardens and the hardwood posts that we were offered that they've been keeping for they're over 100 years old from the old Cornwallis wharf, and that along with the research, particularly Dot has really gone into the local history in her pieces, and so everyone's brought together all those different elements, whether they're physical or their cultural story, whatever that is, into these works.